plus minus 2. And
That's to exit.
huh?
That's to
For
exit.
exit,
He's saying revenues.
No, but if he has a good robust model,
Yeah.
breaking in 7 years, I think he will give exit mean highest time.
There's no science here, nobody's saying what's the expected rate of return, what's the five. It's about what's your resume in some parts and what is the idea that you bring to the table. If you say I'm going to integrate Indian agriculture and farmers in a way that's never been done before, or let the migrant in the city send money, it's a narrative. I'm listening, saying, what about Air India? I mean, the India resides in the villages is actually helping me say, okay, do people send money or I'm pretty sure they do. So this guy, it is a narrative. It's not really, if that the result of that, if you get into a discussion, means 5 saal tak paisa nahi banega, so be it.
Let me give
The
an
narrative is
example.
more
Let's say
important.
you are a biotech genius dude, who understand it very well. You have an idea to come up with a molecule which has to go through phase 1, 2, 3, 4 and then probably commercialization and then you come to FDA. Mentally I am prepared that this molecule, nothing will happen first year. The phase 1 may come up by 3rd year. Believe me, if you are able to do phase 1, I will be making good money. So I am giving you various examples. If you are in business of electronics, probably it will have a life of 6-7 months. If you are in business of like Flipkart, I know you have a question, but I have no answer to your question.
Because I remember last couple of weeks we did meet a lot of people. When we went to an angel investment in that case, what happened, his answer was he was someone who had been built up from the property market. He said, I would get 3-4 investors, put money on a property. I tend to get 300-400% return on investment in the next 1 or 2 years. So moral of the theory or thing didn't go through. Then we went to a corporate investor. Though it got funded at that time, it has gotten funded. They just gave us 20% of the whole company. The rest 50 was taken away. So how
Taken away meaning you did the deal.
So how does one go about such? Because see, we are basically creating logistic bases and people which cost a lot of money. It's not a Facebook where you just rate a site.
See, I think this point will help you answer your question. I don't want to dwell much because there could be various references and there could be. I don't want to waste time on this. Both of us are capable of talking whole night. But idea of this that we have a workshop done. We can meet offline and.
Yeah, let's do it. Are we here?
I think I am done unless until you have. See, thank you.
So we can do some 5-minute car, 15-minute went till an hour because anyway we also discussed. So I think that's fair. So you guys think we'll stick to the earlier thing? I think we have 1 more hour, is it? Shweta? 1.5 hours. So you think that we should? Would you like to come and pitch it? Not for the substance but for the delegate? Okay.
We can do 2 things. Either we both can be here. I'll request Vivek, and I also have a friend sitting last bench. He can also join it.
So I think we will make it a bit sporting. The best pitch that gets iterated here doesn't have to be the first time best pitch. We'll have you be invited in one of these Mumbai Angels or Indian Angels meetings. You'll get a chance to pitch direct. So that's maybe a bit of gamification to the workshop.
Krishna and Shweta can guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't guarantee. Kidding,
Yeah.
Happy to help whatever way, but in case you have any queries, I think
You said something.
would be happy to speak for another 10-15 minutes, Krishna.
Yeah.
In case you have any other queries which you want us to address.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Else would be inclined to do a workshop.
Yeah.
Hi, I have a question. So thanks for the presentation. And I was wondering that, as you see many people coming to you for investments every day, I'm sure there are people who don't get a lot of these elements right, and you perhaps still fund them. I'm sure there's an element of gut that goes into it, right, the last part of it. I was very curious to know that, what goes on in your mind when you make a decision where a lot of these factors are not satisfied. How would you rationalize that?
That's a better question. So I think in this we missed the most important part, which is the person.
Right.
This was what you wear that day, right? The person who stands there. So your intellect, your experiences, your way of delivery. Now I can't, in this workshop we are going to talk about how succinct or how not to get argumentative. You're not here to change attitudes, but all that forms part of who you are. I think the delivery is again the person. This is more like, maybe a bit of the rules and don't. So this would not mean anything. I mean, the best presentation that you get your friend to write won't mean anything if you stand there and are not confident, and which, by the way, from this side, not really factoring that some people come and they want some water and people are nervous. It's not like people on this side haven't been there. They've been young, they've been first timers where to get into a room full of people and speaking. So all of that is discounted. So to your advantage, nobody's saying, oh, look at her, she's you can understand she's nervous, but that's okay. So then the substance. So I think the person and the substance. So if you say that I am in this area and this is what I thought and I think it can become a business, you are on from there. Then believe me, if you don't have the let's say barriers to entry or your 5-year projection, cool. Because one point that I wanted to make, is in this context, this is number one to angel investors mostly, because if you don't have a business, if it's not doing $1 million in run rate, you're not pitching to a VC yet. So the assumption is you're pitching to angel investors. Here, that's one. Two, this workshop or the first presentation that you make to an angel investor is the first in a series of, if you're lucky, meaning if you kind of pass that gate, it's first in a series of multiple interactions you will have with that investor. So suppose you come and pitch to him, chances are 9 out of 10 times he rejects. So 1 out of 10 times if he says yes, it's not an absolute yes, now it's a gate. You go to so you also should understand that from the iterative point of view. I mean simple presentation, not just the raising part of it. If you are talking about your idea, who you are and what do you want to do, it should be the summary or the soul of the larger or everything that you have to say. It should not be everything that you can and would want to say. It should be a part of it. Because if you do get selected or if there's interest expressed, people will spend 2-3 hours with you. People want to kind of understand more than so this should be looked as a summary, but with the details of what is the business being there. It's not a summary as in, okay, in this I won't tell you what my business is, not in that sense, but I'm going to disrupt the Indian, grocery market by having a cold storage van come to Yanadani and deliver, to every home. Now I get the idea, right? Now in that time, in half an hour, you should be able to interest saying an average house in India buys grocery worth this, in an urban location people work, if you put it together, 3,000 bucks of whatever, 5,000 of grocery, if you add it, if I do cold storage, a van costs me this much. I mean, it's a narrative. Now I have no idea of that business, it's a narrative. People are thinking, saying, this is looking good. I don't know which part of it is looking good. The entry barriers maybe, the rate of return maybe, but definitely the narrative. So the narrative is much more important. I should be thinking, for my kid, I will pay 500 bucks a month for some online, kind of make some doodle or, which perks of your whatever, mathematical ability. I'll pay 500. So I'm thinking, yeah, if I pay, not. There's a narrative. Yeah.
I have to add it. As you say, Mr. Anil, if we have all resources of the fund from family or friends, it's a better choice compared to VC. But is it right to select VC to work as a steward to your company? Because VC are always to get out for the money, get a better returns, and we can get a better mentorship to run the business. So do you think that in that case you can share your tenders of the share of your company here?
It depends. If you have positive attitude on that, please go for that. But ideally, if you have money, I think you can always pay for good advisors and still fuel your business.
If you have money, why would you want to give out your exciting company to anybody else?
No, it's not.
I don't want to be. But
No, if you have the money, then your exciting idea, why would you want to value?
The family friend also we have to pay the interest, whatever the, like, in VC we get advantage, you don't need to,
Pay interest.
Definitely, like,
Comes with a cost.
yeah. And you have to hire, like, some VC companies, they put some people in the company or management, we can definitely.
Simple answer, if you have money, boss, best of consultants are available.
Okay.
Look at them, they will help you fill your business. Many businesses have, but you normally
Look
look
at
at
a Skype guy leaves and starts his next company, or let's say this guy from Twitter who left and started Square. You know what happens? Their worth is probably known in the market. It's in a few $100 million. Or they still raise money. $2 million, $1.5, $650,000. There's a guy, his worth is like, hundreds. Because it's also about people. It's also about incentive. Let's say, in this interaction, you figure out Anil is a smart guy. Now you have a venture and you have all the money. How can you get Anil's advice or kind of guidance for this venture? It can only happen if Anil and this venture are, even if you pay him, let's say 2 lakhs a month and get him as an employee or whatever, as a consultant, it's not aligned. But if you said that 0.5% of this company is owned by him, right, and he's got to put some money or whatever, then is definitely, every time he's thinking of you, he's thinking, bada hoga to bahut paisa milega. So the incentive, it's a gamification, right? He has to have incentive, and that's where he'll get good advice. Otherwise, he'll get advice where the guy gives that advice, moves on. He's not, even if you have money, getting advices might be.
So that's somewhere the difference between being an employee and starting off on your own.
hey guys, like, why not come on work we can, I think both.
But what's the queue? Who's going to do it first? I mean, who are the people who would want to come and pitch?
How many, how many?
Great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all separate. As in all of you are like, okay.
5 minutes.
So why don't you do one thing? 2 minutes, you go first. Okay, 2 minutes. Any questions? You have a presentation or something? Do you by any chance?
I have a small presentation.
If you just connect, take 2 minutes, connect. Let's make us.
So we'll take just one last.
Usme I don't know. I
We'll take one last question.
Yeah, please. Should I answer
As
something?
an angel, how do you protect your stake as VCs come in? And how does that work between you and founders? Because you're kind of starting at the ground floor with the founder. Typically the stories you hear is founders kind of get diluted along the way. Do you guys also get diluted, or you keep re-upping with every round? I'm asking more as you as angels. How do you kind of protect your investment?
So I've, done formal investing only for a short time. It's been more informal in the past. What I loved about the interaction with the Mumbai Angel team, we looked at a bunch of businesses, and the question the Mumbai Angels guys asked was not how much can I take, but was how much will the founders actually keep? Because it is very clear an investor, unless the founders actually have a decent stake, the interest is gone in the business. So we would rather dilute ourselves rather than dilute the founder. If that means the founder can keep a decent stake and keep interested, because again, in the end, it's not a percentage game. 1% of 100 billion, 100 of 1 million, right? Simple सा तो आता है वो बड़ा matter. So we'd rather you guys, the investors, get less and the founders get more.
So this
That
is
right?
seed, I think Vivek has fairly covered, but just to give you some numbers, we are actually seed investors. We will not be happy to go beyond seed. 1 or 2 cases may happen, but if I start playing role of a VC, then probably I'm not a seed investor.
So you exit to the VC basically.
It depends, the fact is that angels have much larger appetite to stay invested than anybody else because it is his own money. So normally you will see angels are the first to enter and the last to exit. India is different, the angels are getting exited level 1, 2, 3. But if you go to US, angels are first to enter and last to exit. So the appetite is high, seed investment, idea is to fuel it to next level where they can, people do participate in round 2 if they find it aligning with their risk appetite. Otherwise, they have their own businesses to manage. I think we they have several opportunities, you know, to put money. I hope it.
Is it answered?
I mean, is your question?
Kind of, but I was just.
How do we protect our investment?
Obviously.
You know, once, I mean, this is not really, are you ready? Are you ready to come? Yeah. So, if the, let's say whatever the investment, if the angels keep 20% and you keep 80% as the founding fee, whoever else comes now, there will be a dilution to everybody is going to get diluted here, unless there's some transaction, right? As in, but I mean, pro rata, everybody is going to get diluted here.
You typically do.
Unless we come in and buy more pro rata to maintain our stake. No, those are very deal specific. I mean, and they don't, there's no ascribing any intentions because these are deal specific. I mean, I see you're doing wonderful. You need $5 million. You raise 5 million. I'll be a jerk to get out, right? And number two, I might even tell that VC that 5 million mein $500,000 we as the, will come and further up our stake. But what matters really is that our stuff is peripheral. Meaning, if Vivek gets replaced by a VC, it's not going to make your life difficult unless he was an advisor, which he can continue even otherwise, right? With some, what is important, as he said, is the founder's stake. So in all of this, when people do the cap table of first round, second round, even upfront, say, okay, if he is, after 18 months, if he is successful, he'll raise 4 million. Tabhi likely a valuation milega, and then do the math. At no stage should your founding team come down to like, some 10% or 20%. Then you're going to simply walk away. So,
Like this, second angle to it, I'm an angel as well as I'm a strategic investor. Okay, I have a particular appetite, and if you need, let's say, X amount of money, and I'm a strategic investor, I know a value add, and I want you to see to a level and then buy you out, I'll prorate myself along with any other investor. But if I'm pure angel investor, then probably I would want to be an angel investor, and trust me, VCs do recognize angel investors. They are not there to bully us or throw us out. So it's a natural,
Yeah.
I hope this helps you. But
So it's basically
we do have.
That's how.
what is important is your stake in the business. It's not important because on the capital side you have 30 entities, 25 angel investors from Mumbai Angels and 10 from Indian Angels and 2 VCs. That's details. Point is, how is the business doing? How are you motivated? If I get swapped by him, no problem. That doesn't. But you can't get swapped in all of this, right? That's important. So I think it's. What are our motivations? That's what you're wondering. It's deal specific. You like even get out at times because you're getting 5x. Abhi theek hai, you have to understand that 50 lakh became 2.5 crores. You can go and invest it into 10 more companies. So those are dynamics. Yeah. Come. Thanks.
Basically, I'm Samir from One Media. We are into distribution of short films and documentaries. We are leading aggregators of content. We're leading aggregators and distributors of content on internet and mobile space. We believe this is a great space to be in because overall the consumption of video, online videos, is on the rise. Today, almost 86% of the internet audience is consuming videos. India is pretty much on the same line where almost 70% of the consumption of on internet is videos, and of the videos, almost 77% of the consumption is entertainment videos. Now, these entertainment videos can fall into 2 categories, which is professionally created content as well as some UGC. There is a primary distinction there. So when we look at it, we are in the space of alternate content, and what I define alternate content as is short films, documentaries or independent films. The other content being the UGC content. So alternate content is created by professional people who are out there telling a story. Vis-a-vis an UGC guy who is just anybody, picks up a camera, shoots and uploads it for consumption. So today we see a huge potential and growth in this content space because big companies, the YouTubes of the world, have gone ahead and created a distribution platform which is creating the bridge for taking content to people. But now they are aggressively realizing they need to bridge that gap with some good content to keep this going. And with that intent in mind, all the big companies started looking into this space. So YouTube has started looking at partners who are content creators, paying them money as a revenue share, so that they can use this process of creating better content on their platform. In fact, they recently held a contest where the first prize winner for a 15-minute short film was $500,000 and an opportunity to make a film with Ridley Scott. Similarly, Amazon has started something which is called as a People's Production Company. Again, with the same incentive of picking up this individual creative talent and getting their content on their platform. Hulu, Netflix are also creating these divisions. So, like most of these people have created these platforms, but now they're realizing that they need content, which is the key factor coming from different people. Now that's the One Take Media story. We are at a position today in India where we are the largest aggregators of such independent content from thousands of creators across India. We have a library of over 2,000 videos, and we have positioned ourselves as this intersection where we have this content and we are sourcing it continuously through our contacts in the creating community and providing it to all these distribution platforms with a very different content. So it is not coming like from a one production house which generally has a typical one style of content, but this is from so many people. On YouTube today, we have kind of achieved almost, we are at 24 million plus views, with adding more than 70 to 75,000 views on a daily basis. We are generating revenues, and we've shared revenues with filmmakers in the last 2 years, issued checks to more than hundreds of filmmakers. Another unique factor of our sourcing is that the sourcing is generally a cost head. We've turned it around into, yes, it continues to be the main source of getting content, but with an option of generating revenues off that. So we conduct a contest and we invite participation, we give out gratification, we have a celebrity jury, opportunity to work with the filmmakers, etc., etc. But we get a sponsor, and this entire activity which is sourcing content for us also starts generating revenues. We are today connected with not just YouTube, but we are partners with Yahoo, we are partners with Dailymotion, we are partners with a few other internet portals, we are partners with mobile operators like Vodafone, Docomo, BSNL, and we're launching our own mobile app for distribution of content on the iOS platform initially. We want to take it on the other platforms as well. So this is primarily the two verticals that we are today in, is distribution of content, aggregation and distribution of content, and creating these short film contests. We want to extend it to a couple of other platforms wherein we want to take crowdsourcing to a bigger level, connect with content providers and creators globally, and same time that same exchange can also source content for us. And another thing is, one more activity is something which we call as Direct to Festival, where all these independent content creators get an opportunity to showcase the film festivals worldwide and get recognition. All this activity at the same time tying it to our primary objective, which is sourcing and distributing of content. Presently we are looking for funds to kind of establish the next two verticals that we want to look at.
Krishna, I'll take liberty. I think you all had gone through the presentation I made. Anything you would like to pinpoint he missed?
So what is UGC?
So
Here's generated content.
Okay, sorry. Just what?
There was no problem.
What we will be uncharitable. Killing government, there is no problem, we'll find one, but.
So this is just a feedback for all of you. I have my own comment, but I thought, better if you can come out, you.
What is the revenue model? The revenue is generated out of the distribution activities.
Just for feedback.
So, I want that.
I just want to know people that you presented something. For me, he defined problem, but for somebody you didn't define problem. Okay. Idea is to just highlight know what all you missed. Probably by the time fifth guy is there, he have a perfect pitch so that we all go learn it from here. So idea is not to debate, idea is neither to ask anything. Anything else he missed?
Competition.
Oh, anything else?
Financials.
That I think.
I put it here. I mean, I haven't, but I can kind of explain.
Vivek, anything you felt?
Let me start by saying this is one of the better pitches actually I saw. I've seen a few in the past few months in the formal Mumbai Angel teams. So the guys who were asking about folks coming in and nervousness and stuff, it actually was a good pitch, all right? A lot of people come actually with less confident pitches and you have no idea what they're saying. And you still try and make sense of what they're saying. So good job done there. I will say though about the barriers to entry, right? The market size, some of that stuff I think was a little bit missing in my mind. And then he started talking about 2 or 3 multiple models or markets. And that's suddenly I said, which market is she going to go after? What makes sense? And could be different for everyone else. As an investor, I like to see a focused model. That's it. Otherwise, good job done.
Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to address because at times I feel that I may not convey exactly everything that I want to in that limited space, which agreed you don't have infinite time to give me.
So, Samir, idea is basically, making best out of a 5 minutes.
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to do.
That's why I never wanted you to be, defensive and answer anything. Just want you to know that, your friends, what they feel, what they give. In fact, Vivek, rightly pointed, the market definition was missing. So I don't want to, pinpoint anything, neither I want to answer. Krishna, you want to highlight anything? Because
I would just say you use, like Vivek said, the better pitches. I think because it's a crowded, what you should do, what I have come to, is if 5 minutes or half an hour, you should be able to take the buzzwords of today. You should say I am LinkedIn for India. It totally summarizes your entire business. So I heard Hulu, Netflix, YouTube and others. If you really, and I don't know, we're not getting into anybody's domain, we're just getting into the delivery. If you said today people consume lots of video online, most of these are user generated. We are trying to create professional videos from small time filmmakers and helping them monetize it or something like that. It would I would go back thinking this is YouTube where users are not uploading but people are, these guys are sourcing from kind of sophisticated users or smaller filmmakers and then putting it, and this is how it's going to make money. So I think just in a one-liner always helps. It's difficult at most times to form a one-liner. You need hundreds of words, but if you cannot have come to thinking LinkedIn for India or I don't know, Zappos for India or something, or a Airbnb for office space, you actually, not much presentation is required.
On the broader point, I think as rightly said, I had opportunity to listen you earlier, so I didn't want to give any comment. I told you earlier also. But the idea is that just try to touch broader points like market or as he said you did define the problem was defined very well. That the platform is there but content is not there. That's what he's trying to solve. Just to answer your query. But just try to cover like market, team, all those factors, competitor. And if you do that, I think you have a better pitch for you.
Okay, thank you.
From this one, I mean, if I might, because you have a presentation, that's not have you deliver it, go through structure of, just explain it to us as a presentation. You're like co-founder, so you say, okay, in this slide I will talk about this. So the domain don't take a completed slide. Just go through the slides.
I take the opportunity to present so I can guide whatever the direction is required. Just to introduce myself, I own this company, Real Time Interactive Media Private Limited. We are into a space where we are the infotainment and entertainment platform in the mass transit media. That's what I say to ourselves. To give it just what we do is, we are into digital screens with innovations inside EST buses and then in Bangalore BMTC government buses. The idea is to engage and interact with passengers who are traveling inside these buses on the go. So catering to a larger audience at one go with innovative concepts and with innovative ideas in terms of engaging them and not pushing them with a lot of unwanted ads. But still they are recipient to a lot of branded content and branded ideas and other thoughts. A little brief about myself before I take you through is, having worked with into a marketing field since for the last 8 years of experience working with Big Bazaar for 5 years into marketing to various segments. Big Bazaar and Big Bazaar brand platform there, Shopper Stop and Dimple Channel. This is more into marketing, branding and media platform that I'll come through. How I got into this entrepreneurship era is like a friend had approached me saying that, boss, I have a concept where there is digital screens inside these buses I'm putting in. He's a technology guy. So I have the GPS systems in it and I don't know what the scope for it is. I told him what does it do? Having GPS, GPRS, it's okay. It sounds to me like a fancy term. I'm a marketing guy, so what does it do? So that you can do a location based ads or you can just specify any communication to a particular location. I said okay. Then what does the GPRS do? So a lot of live feeds can come into screens. Okay. And what does the Bluetooth do? So a lot of blue casting is going to transfer. Blue casting is something which is yet to be developed here. The first two things excited me more because as a brand manager, I would feel like apart from doing a regular spots or advertisement, how can I interact or take my communication to the next level? And if I have something which is a mass media here, which takes the masses along with it, creating engaging contents then, and then passing on to the message, which would make me reach faster to that audience. So that would click me. I told him, give me some time, let me speak to a few people. I would float a company and take a market advice. So that's why I was fortunate enough to get the investor, angel person who thought through the idea, who liked the idea and put the money into it. Now we're going to the second round of it. Because we are expanding, we are already installed in technology, 600 buses in Mumbai in technology. It takes a huge investment in putting on the screens and stuff. There's a few minutes. So there was this of it, I just delivered on the presentation. Okay, we opened 2010. Bombay, Bangalore is not, as I earlier told you what we are. Digital OH, we formed to come off digital OH sector into the media, which is, to be frank, that's not a growing currently. It's not growing at that pace of outdoor media, but it's quite upgrowing media, growing at anywhere between 10 to 15% per annum. With a lot of skilling operators coming in last few years and going out of the screen because of no content. Just done through. So, digital translate is still a virgin territory. Very few